Do not buy cable management products until you've watched this video. No matter how bad the cables look on your desk, I'm going to help you take your setup from F to S tier with these 5 game-changing solutions. No one wants to be an expert in cable management, but I'm somebody who can claim to be exactly that, with lots of experience managing the cables on desks around the office and in the setups you see in our videos. Some of you may be overwhelmed by the many cable management products you find online. Others are learning for the first time that these even exist. Whichever camp you're in, these 5 product styles will cover everything from the horizontal to vertical cable management. This video is more about the product styles and less about the specific makes and models. So when you decide it's time to put a cable management plan into action, click the link in the description to see all the top-rated products I've tested. I'm going to quick go through some of these smaller products that can work both vertical and horizontal. These screw-in cable clips, these can work good for like your programmable switch on your desk. Definitely a permanent solution. A lot of people like to use zip ties. Personally, I stay away from them because I don't want to have to cut them off when I make changes on my desk. So I'll stay away from those. An alternative is using these Velcro cable ties. Easy to take on and off. They're great for bundling up cables. I always have a ton of these when I do a desk setup. Another more permanent solution is these cable straps. So they can have adhesive to go on the bottom of your desk. They can hold a couple cables. Personally, I don't love this style. I'd rather go with, these are the Tidy Helper clips. So they're a little bit wider, they can hold more cables inside, and they also let your cables slide through loosely, which can at times be really helpful. The Tidy Helpers also come with just these single clip holders. So this is a nice alternative to the screw-in ones if you can't screw something into your desk. So moving on to some cable holders. So these again, hold cables on the back of your desk or maybe the side of your desk. These are for the cables that you want to keep close at hand, hold them in place, but not necessarily hold them in a permanent way. So a more premium option to those is an anchor magnetic holder. These clip right on your cable, and then you just set them down on the holder. Again, great for like a charging cable. If you want to really get fancy, these are the Linus Tech Tips cable holders. These are all magnetic. I have a video where I use these metal strips under my desk. I checked that one out. These are a cool product. If you don't want to spend the money for the Linus Tech Tips, Amazon does have some cheaper versions. They work pretty good. As you can see, the quality is not there. One of those magnets even fell out. Our first category that's going to be mainly for horizontal is going to be cable raceways, or also called server management racks. So there's all different sizes of these. Make sure to look at the inches, how big they are, because some are going to be real small, others are going to be much larger. So these open up, allowing you to put the cables inside and have little openings to hold them in place. So a lot of these will have adhesive to stick them underneath your desk. Others, like this larger raceway, you're going to have to use screws to put them onto your desk. Now this one, for example, it's not made to use on a desk, even though it works great. It's made to put in a server rack. Here's a much larger option. Again, kind of a mix between the two. You can fit your cables into these little holes, helps them stick out exactly where they need to be. Keep in mind, again, all of these, they're not going to fit your power strip inside. Last thing here, just a single cable raceway. So this is great, maybe hiding a cable along the wall, or you could even use this vertically on your desk. So stepping up to the tray style products, you can really get a lot of value here. So in a lot of my different setup videos, I've used these sets of trays. So this one, for example, it comes in a set of 2, but some products come in sets of 3. Again, you really want to measure to know how big this opening is going to be so you can see if you can fit your power strip in there. And then really pay attention to the length. You kind of want to get the most length per dollar. Also, really think about how this is going to fit on your desk. If your monitor is going to be in the middle, you might want one on each side, or if it's a set of 3, maybe you put all 3 on one side with your monitor mount on the far side. I also really like getting these longer trays. So these can fit along almost the whole length of your desk. It gives you this really clean, solid look. Just make sure that it'll fit between the legs of your desk. And also, some of them can be a little more narrow, so make sure you have enough space to fit your power strip with all the stuff plugged in inside. There's also several mesh style trays out there. So as you can see, it's a softer fabric tray. You can still fit all your cables in here for the most part. They have straps to hold your power strip inside, and then hooks that just hold it up underneath your desk. So this is going to be hanging below. It swings open. You can have all your stuff hooked right inside here. Here's another just really large tray. So something like this, it's going to cover the whole length of your desk. You can use these holes to put straps on to hold your cables. So another great option. Just keep in mind, if you have a monitor arm mounted on your desk, it might bump into the top of these trays. So just another thing to consider when picking out these products. So we're going to see a big range when it comes to box style products. I'll start with a box that you typically would put on the floor under your desk. This might be nice if you have one of those UPS systems, or just if you wanted to route everything down instead of mounting it up on your desk. The problem is most of these are kind of cheapy. They're hard to open. I don't love them personally. I'd rather get everything up under my desk. Stepping up a little higher quality here, this is actually a steel case box. So this hooks up underneath your desk, swings open so you can access the inside, has these ties to kind of bundle your cables together and hold them up against the inside of the box. So now we come to my favorite product. This is BTOT's Ultimate Cable Management Box. The proof of this being my favorite is I actually have 2 of these attached to my desk at home. So I have the option of having any of these products to use. This is what I pick. So how this works here is it has a cover in the front. You can easily take it off, stuff all your stuff inside. So this is nice because you don't have to be super particular about how you put it in. You want it to be neat and tidy, but at the same time, you can kind of dump everything inside and then just drop that cover back on. So this looks super sleek on the desk. It looks like it's actually part of your desk. Big solid surface. So moving on to some vertical cable management, I really like these cable sleeves. So they can work if you have a couple cables coming down from the bottom of your desk down to the floor, maybe over to your outlet. They just open up and you can fit a bunch of cables in here. They do come in all different sizes. Here's a more narrow one. So this is more really good for like if you want to put this behind your monitor to just bundle a couple cables together. Next up, we have some products that either can magnet to the side of your desk, or this one has some adhesive so they can just help route cables again down the side of your desk. I probably lean more towards the cheaper sleeves, but it is an option that can be kind of clean. Another route is to go with a cable snake. So these will help you keep your cables a little bit more separated. So if you have like a network cable and power cables, you don't want those running bundled tight together. So this will actually have a channel in there to keep them separated. Here's just one more example of these. You can see how they articulate, especially for a standing desk if it's going to be moving up and down. Finally, there's also Velcro options. So this can close on itself. And then it has adhesive on the back that can either run horizontally or vertically down your desk. I think it's safe to assume you're going to need 1, maybe 2 power strips attached to your desk. Even on this super simple setup here, you can see we have a lot of stuff to plug in. Speakers, monitor, my computer charger, all these different things. I know the last time I looked at my setup at home, I had 16 different products plugged into power strips on my desk. So when we're in this planning stage, we want to look at our power strips, see how many openings we have, count how many are on our desk, and make sure that we have not just enough, but some extras. You're gonna find that some of your power bricks, these larger chargers especially, they're not gonna all fit together nicely. It ends up being kind of a puzzle, getting them to go different directions to fit. Personally, I love these really long power strips. They give you even more space between each outlet. That gives you more freedom for which direction you're gonna plug in these different products. You also want to make sure that your power strip has the built-in surge protector. I've recently had this problem. My computer got fried because I had a cheaper power strip. It's on my upgrade list to get a UPS for my setup. This is going to make cable management even more tricky because a lot of your power is going to have to go down to the floor if you have a larger UPS. Maybe that'll be a video we do in the future. So there's a couple different ways you can mount your power strips to your desk. You can either use the holes. Usually they have these provided in the end so you can actually screw them up to the desk. As you can see here, some larger power bricks don't like hanging upside down. They'll just fall out. So I don't always love this method. Another way to do it is with adhesive. Again, I don't really recommend this because eventually the weight of the power strip can pull that down, especially as you're pulling cords in and out of the power strip. Really, my preferred method is to put your power strip right inside your cable management. So some products aren't going to let you do that. Like if you're using some kind of a cable raceway or server management rack, it's not really going to fit inside there. So you're going to have to run them side by side. A larger tray or box style product will let you put that cable strip right inside, and you can plug everything right in and it fits right here. Now some cable boxes might not be large enough for that, so you'll have to tip them on their side. I would just always measure how big those products are. To help you out picking out what cable management products are going to be right for you, check out my guide. The link is down in the description. Here's where I rank all of the products I've ever tested. Thanks for watching.